Hey everybody, welcome into another episode of Fan Media Network, your Chicago Bears fan show. I'm your host, Sunday Ely. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm Sunday Ely with Fan Media Network. Today we are speaking with the legendary Eric Wood, who was drafted 28th overall back in the 2009 NFL Draft by the Buffalo Bills, going on to be a 2015 Pro Bowler, which is super exciting about the legacy with the Bills. They played 9 seasons with them. Currently an analyst, correct me if I'm wrong, with ACC Network, color commentary with the Bills Radio Network as well. So excited to have you on today, Eric. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's my pleasure coming on, and I appreciate those wonderful words in the intro.
So I know that you are a busy man. Let us know a little bit of what you have up for you right now going on with the current season.
Yeah, so I'm gearing up to call some Bills games, and it's fun to be back around the organization. Last year, I did the pre and post game from home without being able to travel into New York. I'm living in Louisville, Kentucky now. So 2 years ago, super special to be a part of it. Last year, they make this AFC Championship run, and no one can be there. And I know Bills fans, and myself included, are excited to get back into the stadium, and then also gearing up for some college football work this year as well.
QBs, we got to start there. We got to start talking about our QBs. Josh Allen with his massive contract, $150 million guaranteed, over $200 million in the actual contract. But also we got to mention a little bit about Mitchell Trubisky, who was the former QB with the Chicago Bears, now back up to Josh Allen. Recently was interviewed by ESPN mentioning how he's, just summing it up, he's in a better situation in his opinion, and he's really enjoying where he is. Let us know a little bit your thoughts as to why you think he would say that. What's going on in Buffalo that Mitchell has access to that he didn't in Chicago?
You know, I think right now it's just the mindset of the culture up there. And Mitchell Trubisky seems like a Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane type of guy. Brandon Beane being the GM. When they took over the team in 2017, they both had the goal of bringing in guys with a certain type of DNA. They want them talking the right way, working the same type of way. And you've seen it over this last 4 years, this organization grow tremendously by instilling that culture. So Mitchell Trubisky saying all the things that would be expected from someone that gets brought into this current Bills culture. And, you know, when there's a lot of pressure on you in a big market and you don't have the success that maybe you envision for yourself as the number 2 pick in the draft, I believe, there was probably a lot of weight on his shoulders that becomes lifted when you sign a 1-year deal. And in everybody's mind this year, if Mitchell Trubisky never plays it down during the regular season playoffs and Super Bowl, that would be a great thing for the Bills. And he may even say the same thing about him personally. He's there to grow. He's there to use a year in this Bills offense that was number 2 in the league in scoring last year to learn to grow under Ken Dorsey, the quarterback's coach, Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, and then go get another big contract in the NFL and go prove it to himself again. Because when you're drafted number 2 overall and you're as young as he is, there's still high hopes that one day he could make a tremendous impact on this league.
I would 100% agree with you on that. I think it's probably the ease of not being under the spotlight that creates for a situation for a quarterback to really thrive, to hone in on those things that maybe were his areas of critique without the criticism of an entire city or Bears Nation, right? Global, worldwide, scrutinizing every single thing that you do. So I would 100% agree with that. Rolling on from there, you know, the Bills last season in the AFC East finished 13-3 on the season for the regular season. Amazing offensive performance, clinching that AFC East national championship and playing in the playoffs as well. So just wanted to talk to you as the Bears and the Bills get ready to match up. What should we expect to see as Bears fans as they hit the field against a top 10 defense?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of Bills starters on the field. These guys have played in the same offense for a number of years. They know what they have. You mentioned Josh Allen's contract already. They're not going to put him in much of harm's way in the preseason. They may give him a series or 2, but it will not be any place where Josh could possibly take a shot. They're trying to get him completely unscathed into the regular season. So I would assume Bears fans are going to see a heavy load of Mitchell Trubisky facing off against his former team. And the Bears have such an incredible defense. I mean, the pass rushers themselves in Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn on the outside. I've played against Akeem Nicks. He is a beast inside. So this defense is stacked. I don't know how many of those guys you see, because the Bears know that the strength of this team, especially early on, while you have a new quarterback in either Andy Dalton or Justin Fields starting the regular season, they're going to rely on that defense to carry them. So I don't think you see a lot of the Bears stars as well. But I will say, even though there might not be a lot of star power on the field for this preseason matchup, it's going to be great to be back in Soldier Field, see fans in the stands.
Are the Bills better this season? And tell us, in your opinion, why?
Yeah, I think so. I think you just get another year from a developing young quarterback. And so you have the same offensive coordinator back. You return virtually everybody on offense, and then you add Emmanuel Sanders and a lot of their key players. These young players at tight end, at running back, they're growing into their bodies. You know, these guys are young. And then defensively, Star Lotulelei, their nose guard, he opted out last year. If you could critique the Bills team in any area last year, it'd be their run defense, and it was towards the bottom of the NFL. And occasionally that's skewed when you're playing with leads. You're willing to give up some, chunk run plays so that you're not getting the ball bombed down the field. Regardless, Star Lotulelei, the nose guard, returns this year. They draft defensive ends in the first and second round of the draft, and they're excited about this group that they're bringing back. And I know this defense was ranked third in the NFL 2 years ago. They slipped towards the middle of the pack statistically last year. I know this defense, with as much veteran presence as they have, they're looking to get back on track.
Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Tre'Davious White, excuse me. What are some other athletes on this Buffalo Bills roster? You just mentioned several names just now, nose tackle, et cetera, that Bears fans should pay attention to, or just fans in general should pay attention to, that aren't being talked about nationally as much? Yeah,
a guy who's made a couple Pro Bowlers, but really has flown under the radar, is their middle linebacker, Tremaine Edmunds. He wears number 49. He's 6'5", 245. He's got long dreads. You'll see him out there. He is an absolute presence on the field. He was actually drafted in the first round as well when they drafted Josh Allen. He's due for a sizable payday here in the not too distant future as well, with them coming in the same draft class. He's a specimen. This secondary has been so consistent, maybe one of the best safety duos in the league, in Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Two excellent ball players. They re-signed Matt Milano, one of their outside linebackers last year. This defense and this Bills roster has a lot of household names now, a little different than when I was playing for the Bills 2009 through 2017, because these guys are playing in the spotlight more. They're able to attract higher name free agency guys, the Cole Beasleys. They get Diggs in a trade, who you mentioned, but there's guys, Mario Addison, defensive end, comes over from Carolina. There's a number of guys that have been attracted to come to this organization now.
And so, on behalf of Bills Nation, because you're speaking for them right now, what is your message to Bears fans?
Oh, shoot. It's easy to give a pep talk to the NFC guys because we don't really have to worry about them as far as the regular season goes. Hopefully it's a Bills-Bears Super Bowl, considering the audience I'm speaking to right now. But the season's young, and at this point, the best thing about the NFL is that there's hope for everyone. And the way I look at this Bears team is, when you're good on both sides of the line of scrimmage, even if there's some question mark at the quarterback position, Andy Dalton's played in a lot of games in the NFL. Obviously, everybody's really excited about Fields and what could be in the future. But this defense is a defense that can carry them through this early part of the season, where they figure out what exactly this offense looks like. You also have super playmakers at receiver, at tight end now with Jimmy Graham. So the Bears are an exciting team. And when you look at that division, there's a little bit of unrest in Green Bay. They've been so dominant. Aaron Rodgers, a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's had everybody knows all the Aaron Rodgers saga. Maybe that plays into the season a little bit this year and positively affects this Bears organization.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see, right? I know there's so many Bears fans that honestly just have their fingers crossed, hoping that something dismantles over there in Green Bay to really give the Bears that clear open field space to just run for it, right? Regardless, they're going to have to compete, but it wouldn't hurt if there was a little help somewhere.
Yeah, and when you look around the division, with Jared Goff coming over and taking over for Matthew Stafford in Detroit, you're not you're not expecting year one under Dan Campbell, a new quarterback. Maybe you're not as worried about them. When you look at Minnesota, there's been they got salary cap strapped the last couple years. Consistent ball club. You got Dalvin Cook, excellent running back. Kirk Cousins can play at the quarterback position. But, to me, when you're looking at that division, everybody's kind of pointing up at Green Bay, especially after the season they had last year.
Well, Eric, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me for Fan Media Network, the Chicago Bears Fan Show. I'm Sunday Ely. For people who want to connect with you and plug into your podcast and where you are currently right now in radio and on television, where can they do that?
Yeah, so my podcast is called What's Next with Eric Wood. That's on all your major platforms, and it's the widest variety of athletes and celebrities and country singers and life coaches and pastors, and they're uplifting conversations. I think everybody would truly enjoy it. The last guest was Dan Orlovsky, so for football fans out there, he's all over ESPN now. And on Instagram and Twitter, I'm at ewood70. It's a little easier to respond to the messages on Instagram because everybody can have access to message me on there. So if you want to reach out, hit me up on there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate your time.
Yep. My pleasure, Sunday Ely.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, create a profile in Fan Media Network. Then look for the news page in our website and fan show resources page. Help yourself. We give show hosts a show graphic and team colors, a simple short show format, tips on pre- and post-production, ideas to get fans and guests on your show, Apple News distribution and show sponsorship sales and services to help featured show hosts earn money. Show hosts use our iPhone app to publish their shows. Our website supports Android users.